More mental health professionals are speaking out about Donald Trump's declining cognitive state, but it's not just, oh, he's getting older and he's slowing down and he's declining a little. These mental health professionals are telling us that the evidence that Donald Trump is actually suffering from an actual mental illness, dementia, is now, according to them, overwhelming. They say that there is an overwhelming body of evidence based on what they have seen from him that to them says he has dementia. The latest person to say this is Dr. Lance Dodez, who is a supervising analyst emeritus of the Boston Psychoanalytic Society and Institute, and he's a retired Harvard Medical School professor. Dodez had this to say. Unlike normal aging, which is characterized by forgetting names or words, Trump repeatedly shows something very different: confusion about reality. If he were to become president, he would have to be immediately removed from office via the 25th Amendment as dangerously unable to fulfill the responsibilities of office. So, if Trump were to win, Dr. Lance Dodez says it'd kind of be a hollow victory because you would immediately have to remove him with the 25th Amendment. But Trump's going to fill his cabinet with spineless yes people, so you're not going to be able to use the 25th Amendment, so we would just have a potentially mentally ill individual running our country. But it's not just Dodez. You also have New York psychologist Suzanne Lockman, who said that Trump seemingly forgets how the sentence began and invents something in the middle, resulting in an incomprehensible word salad, a behavior that she says is observed frequently in patients who have dementia. Then, of course, you have Dr. John Gartner, who I've mentioned before, and Gartner says, progressive deterioration in memory, thinking, ability to use language, behavior, and both gross and fine motor skills, and he says he has an ethical obligation to warn the public and urge the media to cover this national emergency. So, 3 mental health professionals, one of which, Gartner, I've mentioned in the past, but they're all out there with new warnings telling us this guy, according to them, has dementia. You can see it in the fine motor skills. You see it in the gross motor skills. You see it in the word salads. You see it in the forgetting of the names. You see it in the forgetting of who he's running against, who is currently the president. Oh, I meant to say Obama, Trump tells us. No, you didn't. That is a symptom, not a campaign tactic. But Jason Miller, Donald Trump's advisor, senior advisor to his campaign, he's not buying any of this. And he told Newsweek, who reported this story, he said, Joe Biden is clearly suffering from cognitive decline and couldn't answer the first 5 questions of a cognitive test or any other test for that matter. President Trump has aced this test twice and is willing to take a 3rd test if Joe Biden sits in the same room and takes it at the same time. In fact, President Trump believes all presidents should take the test. Biden's taken the test. Like, this is actually a standard thing. And I've seen the memes going around on the right-wing media like, Biden refused to take the test. No, he didn't. Like, y'all just make stuff up and you're so dumb that you just believe it blindly without actually doing any bit of research. Biden is slowing down. He is getting older. And these mental health professionals, for the record, are also very clear about that. But based on what they've seen, they say there's really not reason to worry that Biden's brain isn't functioning properly. It's just a little slower. So when he has to think quickly and talk about names of people and places and things like that, yeah, he gets confused. But that doesn't mean that there is deterioration, and it doesn't mean that there is an underlying mental illness. They don't say the same thing about Donald Trump. And as I said last time I talked about one of these stories, which was probably just a couple days ago, because I think it is probably one of the biggest things that should be talked about, but you don't see scores of mental health professionals coming out and ringing the alarm bells about Biden. You don't see mental health professionals coming out and saying, Biden has dementia, we have to stop this. I mean, conservative pundits say it, but not the people who actually know how to diagnose these things. All of their concern is with Donald Trump, and the media desperately needs to start taking that very seriously, as do the voters.